From the News Channel 8 studios, this is Let's Talk Live.
Well, hey, the dating app Tinder has been getting a lot of FaceTime lately. Really? Especially after a recent Vanity Fair article came out saying that Tinder and apps like it are starting what they call a dating apocalypse.
So this Vanity Fair article contends that many today, especially millennials, are moving toward a hookup culture where everything is determined by instant gratification. Everything's on demand these days at the touch of your fingertips. And here to discuss both the apps and the supposed apocalypse is dating expert and founder of the company A Little Nudge, Erika Ettin. So welcome back, Erika. Dating expert.
Thanks
dating
for having
company.
me.
So tell us, what do you think about this controversy about Tinder in particular?
I think people like making controversy, personally. But this Vanity Fair article, if you haven't read it, is scathing. It essentially takes this small subset of people in New York who are in their 20s and looks at their behavior. Now, obviously, if you're looking at behavior of New Yorkers in their 20s, it's going to be different from the behavior of, say, someone who's 40 living in Nebraska or something like that.
Right.
So I do think the article was fairly biased, but it made some interesting points about how people are so interested in instant gratification, and it's always next, 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 what's next?
Right.
Right.
It's kind of like, you know, when these gambling websites were created, some people say, or pornography, frankly, that people get addicted to that, to that rush, the adrenaline, the hope that the next swipe, the next picture will be the one.
Absolutely. I think it's great that people have access to so many potential partners, but obviously the downside is what I call grass is greener syndrome.
Right.
I wrote an article once about getting addicted to online dating because it's always, well, this person's a 9, maybe I could find that 10.
So do you really... I mean, if we're calling them hookup sites, which is what I mean, I hear that a lot, that they're a hookup site. I mean, obviously, then you're not in it for the long haul. It's just what's happening right here, right now.
Right.
You know, I'm not looking for Mr. and Ms. Right. You're just looking for Mr. and Ms. Right now.
Right. So I have many thoughts on this, but I'll narrow it down to 2. The first is, you've heard it's a hookup site. You probably have too, right? Then does it become a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If everybody says it's a hookup site, do people now go on that site solely to hook up, whatever that means to you? And second, if 2 people go on and that's what they want, great. But 2 people could also easily go on and be looking for long-term relationships and find that. I always say you get what you allow, right? So if you allow someone to only pursue you casually, you get a casual relationship. If you don't allow that, you don't get it.
Tinder followed pretty closely behind Grindr, which in the gay community is predominantly seen and used as a hookup app. And so Tinder's kind of parallel to that, and I think a lot of people who use it approach it that way. It's an opportunity to meet someone who's attractive at the bar that you're at or whatnot.
And I see no problem with that, but does it create this crazy hookup culture? I don't know. I think that's where that self-fulfilling prophecy thing comes in. Yeah, it's extremely efficient, which I think is good and bad. It allows you to meet people quickly. It also allows you to meet people quickly.
Right. Right, yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, if, like you said, how do you determine if this is what... Okay, so you're looking for the hookup, but maybe he or she is looking for something long term. Like, how do you... Like, I would just be happy if it just said, hey, this is the hookup site, and left it at that, because then I know what I'm getting myself into.
Right. No, absolutely. And I always tell my clients, know what you're looking for before you go into any dating site, whether you're going into eHarmony, which is a paying site, or Match.com, or a Tinder, or one of the other dating apps. Know what you're looking for first, because once you've decided that for yourself, that's what you can pursue.
Right, that's true.
So tell us about Tinder's reaction to the Vanity Fair piece. Do you think they overreacted?
It was not good.
Yeah.
They had some prized tweets, I'll just say that. It was like, I don't know who they hired as their intern, but this person went, you know, like you're not supposed to respond to that email in the heat of emotion.
Right.
Well, they like had tweet diarrhea or something.
Diarrhea of the mouth?
Yeah, so
we have them on screen now. Talk to our many users in China and North Korea who find a way to meet people on Tinder even though Facebook is banned.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's pretty serious. They also had a very snarky one. I don't know if we have that one saying...
Little known fact.
Yeah.
Sex was invented in 2012 when Tinder was launched.
Exactly. That was the first one that came out, and people were like, oh, they're taking offense to that. I think they could have dealt with this in a much better way, saying, okay, that's one side of the story. Here's the other side of the story. I personally met many wonderful people on Tinder, and so have my clients. But it's really going in, like I said before, knowing what you're looking for and not accepting less than that.
Maybe Tinder loves this controversy, though, because we've just spent 5 minutes talking about this app, right?
That's true. Well, actually, so they're on, I don't know if you know, Tinder is owned by the same company that owns Match.com, and their subdivision of this big company called IAC is called the Match Group, and they own OkCupid and all of these other How About We, and they're actually rolling off and doing an IPO this year. So I think this is great publicity.
Right. It is for them, but I still think that, you know, being a hopeless romantic, it is kind of, I'm fearful to like jump on those sites. Not that I do it anymore. Now that I'm engaged, I don't do it anymore. But you know, you are fearful to jump on these sites to know what you're getting. And I think that's a strong message that you're saying, that you have to know what you want, because we're not stupid. We have to read between the lines. And the fact of the matter is, people are not going to change because you want them to change. If somebody's giving you kind of the hustle on the, you know, after you type something or swipe or whatever, if they're giving you the hustle back, that's what they're in for.
Well, absolutely. And I will say, I still tell people, if you're looking for something serious, I still recommend the paying dating sites like a Match.com or an eHarmony or JDate or Christian Mingle, something like that, where you know at least people are invested enough to have put in their credit card number, so you know they're somewhat into the process.
There are a lot of people, though, who don't even want to do that. And so if you're giving advice for young ladies, young men who are looking for love, what's the way to do it offline?
Doesn't matter, young, old. But the best way to do it offline is to go to speed dating. I always say there are two major ways to meet people. The way you know people are single, so you're going to a speed dating event, you're going to a singles event. And then the way that you're just having fun, right? You're going to a hiking group. And if you meet someone there, great. But if not, you're still having fun. I don't believe in putting yourself in situations where you're going to have a miserable time, because then you're going to put off a miserable vibe, right?
Right.
So you go with the mindset of, you know, whatever will be, but set yourself up. Don't think you're going to meet your partner on the airplane. Everyone wants that, right? But that's such a rare occurrence, and you remember that one story. So go to the places where you know there are going to be other single people.
Okay, other single people. So the grocery store?
Sure. I have a cousin who met his wife at the grocery store, but
see, it happens.
It sure does, and everyone wants that story. I mean, heck, I want that story, right?
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, anything that is important takes work, even dating, which people don't realize. So it takes work to get yourself to that speed dating event, to sign up for the site, to do anything like that.
And do you find that people put too much emphasis on that first date? Like, you know, when you're 14 and you thought somebody was cute in class, you doodled their name on your, you know, on your Trapper Keeper or whatever. It's like, okay, so it's a date, and it may have went wonderfully.
Yes.
You could have 3 or 4 more dates that are wonderfully, and then the 5th date, it's like, whoa.
Red flag.
People put so much pressure on that first date. I always say the only criteria is, do I want to have one more conversation with this person?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, go out again. Why not?
Although, you know, this Vanity Fair article may have been really tough on Tinder, but I can't tell you how many times I've heard peers or folks, whether they're single or in relationships, express frustration with these apps, or say how relieved, I've said it myself, how relieved I am that I got married before any of this stuff existed. Really, before, when we were dating, this didn't exist. So it's a very different world now in the
completely
dating
different
jungle.
world. And that's, I mean, I work with a lot of clients who have been married before, and it's a terrifying, scary new world. And they're actually my favorite clients to work with, because I feel like I can really have a hand in getting them out there again.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Erika, always great insight. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.